So thank you very much for having me. It's a real honor and a privilege. Intelligence Plus, I think, is a great idea, and particularly when you start looking at ideation, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and promoting what is very critical uh, for young children, like thinking, creativity, social and emotional learning, communication, and practical skills. I think that is really laying a great sort of foundation. We are looking at creating the new India of our dreams, Vikasit Bharat of our dreams, and this is the 10th edition, so it's a decade-long journey of Intelligence Plus. I want to really warmly congratulate you on this impressive decade-long journey, touching 55,000 children, 500 plus schools, 100 cities. That's a great record. I would also like to congratulate uh, the winners of the competition. And remember, you have to always say, my best is to come, and continue to do better and better, because there is no limits to what you can achieve. In my remarks, I like to deal with some fundamentals. I think the first is the idea that each one of us has a potential and we can reach our potential is something that's a great driver. NEP 2020, New Education Policy 2020, has clearly said that education must move towards less content and more towards learning about how to think critically. And that's exactly what Intelligence Plus is trying to do. NEP 2020 also focuses on cognitive capacity building. So both foundational capacity like literacy and numeracy, but a higher order cognitive capacity, which is critical thinking, problem solving, and particularly with social, ethical, and emotional capacities. So it just fits in perfectly what Intelligence Plus is doing in terms of what uh, uh, the new education policy demands from us. We have to move because learning by rote has been the norm. From there, we have to move to learning by doing, and then there from to learning by creating, and not just creating, co-create. Because we are not going to do things alone. We will be doing it together in a team. I am focusing on the issue of problem solving. And in terms of problem solving, I remember I had given a speech in the G20 Higher Education Summit that was held here in Pune. And I have talked about 10 tenets of problem solving, and that should be available to you. So I will some of those aspects that become critical. I was born in a very poor family in a village called Mashel, and my father died when I was 6. And my mother, who was herself illiterate, brought me to Mumbai to do some odd jobs to bring me up. And I remember that every day was a struggle. I studied under street lights, walked barefoot until I was 12. And I went to a municipal school, uh, studied in Marathi. And at the seventh standard, I had scored some 88% marks. I had stood first. But to get to eighth standard, that is the secondary school, required 21 rupees because shoes, uniforms, and so on and so forth. And my mother took some 21 days to get those. And by that time, the admission to all schools were closed, top schools. And I went to a poor school. But that poor school had rich teachers, and that was a great benefit. And the best teacher was Principal Bhave, who taught me science. Now, he believed in not rote learning, not chalk and talk. but seeing, doing, and learning. One day he did an experiment which changed my life, actually. He went out into the sun. He had a convex lens in hand. He held it in the sun, had a piece of paper. He moved it up and down. And when the brightest spot came, he said, "This is focal length." And then he held it for some time, and the paper burnt. And when the paper burnt, he turned to me and he said, "Like this, if you focus, you can achieve anything." And therefore, that became a big lesson for me. I always tell young people, you can do anything, but not everything. So focus. So that was a big lesson. And I also said, science is so fantastic, I must become a scientist. That was the wow moment. But that shows you the importance of a very creative experimentation and what impact it can have in your life. There is no substitute to a good teacher, by the way. So, in terms of the skills, what do we require? Analytical skills are very important because breaking down complex problems into smaller, manageable parts, that's the first part. Second, critical thinking is very, very important. We have to uh, uh, give some open-ended questions, challenge assumptions, uh, probe reasons, create evidence, and so on and so forth. And we have to make children look at real life problems, basically, because children have to be taught in terms of not being a part of a problem, but a part of a solution. And I remember we saw innovation of incredible kind when children were faced with problems. Like there was an award that was given to Remya, a 12-year-old girl, had a big challenge. Her father was down with cancer. Her mother was perennially ill. She had to come home. She had to wash clothes. So she could either wash clothes or she could study. She said, "I will do both." And she had a pedal-driven washing machine. Uh, Basically, it was like a rural washing machine. And she got an award at the hands of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam because she didn't want to be a part of a problem. She wanted to be a part of a solution. The third part is curiosity. Every problem begins with a question, and every solution starts with curiosity. We have to ensure that children remain curious, and we have to take them seriously. I remember the example of Edwin Land, the creator of Polaroid. Where did the idea come from? Not from him, from his young child, because they had gone for a holiday and Edwin Land was taking a photograph with the usual cameras. At that time, there was nothing like instant photography. And his daughter said, "Dad, can I see it now?" "Can I see it now?" "No, it's seen immediately because the film had to be sent for processing and all that." And he said, "Why not?" And after 3 years, he came out with the bride. That child was curious, but her father took her sort of seriously. That's the one. Henry Ford, uh, he was manufacturing cars, and it would take 12 hours to manufacture one car, to assemble one car. That he reduced to 1 hour, and the cost came down by a factor of 10. How do you do that? Did he consult a great auto engineer? No. He had gone to an animal slaughterhouse and saw that did not go to the cut part of the meat, but that part came to them. So that is where he got the assembly line idea, and he started using it. Now, what is common between car manufacturing and animal slaughterhouse? There is nothing, isn't it? But he connected the two. From Formula car, for example, when it breaks down, the tires, etc., are replaced within 5 seconds. So there is a workflow innovation. Okay. And the tooth manufacturing factory said, "Why can't I use such a workflow innovation? Why do I take 2 hours to change brand A from brand B? Why cannot reduce it?" And though they use that idea from a racing car reassembly process, and they could produce 2 million tubes extra. Now, what is common, tell me, between a Formula One race car and toothpaste manufacturing? So I think that fourth point, lateral thinking, is very important. And the fifth one is the adaptability, agility, resilient thinking, because this is a volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous word. And therefore, you will not always get set problems for which you can get set solutions. And you should be prepared to solve problems which are sort of emerging suddenly as complete unknowns. I want to again thank you for giving me this idea. Giving this opportunity. Intelligence Plus has to be Intelligence Plus 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 in many different ways, combining diverse aspects of human capacity, which is critical thinking, cognitive flexibility, ability to deal with complex issues, and most importantly, co-working, because what you can't do together, I can't do together, I can't do alone, we can do together. So thank you very much.